Now, help me out, Blaster. Transform and play something nice.
And now, a nice and nifty musical selection for easy listening. Hold on to your dancing shoes and go, man, go!
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall, a Transformers TCG podcast broadcasting live from an underground bunker in the middle of the murky Midlands.
I want to boot some Decepticon right in his turbocharger.
Whoa. Calm down, Cliff Jumper. Wow. Seriously, put that gun down. You're going to kill somebody in this studio. Goodness. Right, anyway, I'm your host, Lee, from Bluetop Productions, and today I have a motley crew of people to talk everything about Transformers TCG. That's right, the trading card game based on the cartoon from the 80s. This podcast will talk about news about the Transformers the TCG, new releases, deck profiles, and stuff that's happening in the community. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
What up, guys, and welcome back to One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall, the final part of the ARK WAVE 1 release review. We've made it. We've gone through the characters. We've gone through the battle cards. We're now up to the stratagem cards. And I'm again joined by my partner in crime from the Energon Hustlers, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to trolling through these stratagem cards because there's some really exciting ones here and there's some interesting stuff for the characters that maybe haven't seen enough play historically, so it's going to be really cool. So yeah, thanks for having me on here again. Yeah,
it's all good. I feel like we're literally on the last, we're on the last like 400 meters. We're almost there. We've almost finished this marathon of podcasts. I'm excited, and stratagems was one of the coolest things. If you guys didn't know about the Transformers TCG, stratagems were introduced in Wave 5, which was a really cool thing. And it just basically brought some of the older characters back to life or to the forefront to try and say, hey, why not try playing with them again? And obviously the ARK is a fan-made project. If you didn't know, there's parts 1 and 2 here on Podbean. Part 1's on the YouTube channel of mine, Bluetop Productions, and part 2 is on Dave's, which is the Energon Hustlers. So go check those out if you want to see the visual cards and stuff like that. The links are in the description of the videos anyway, and also on the podcast description. But yeah, we're going to hit stratagems. There's only 20 of them this time, guys, so we haven't got 40. We haven't got 38. It's a smallish number, I think.
Yeah, the other two has definitely been a marathon endeavour getting through all of the cards, particularly in the last 2 episodes. So this has been nice. This is like a light version.
It is. It's like a snack size. It's good. Like you've had your normal size Mars bars and Snickers, and now we've got snack size.
So this is fun size.
Yeah, the fun size. I like it. So Dave, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first for the first stratagems? How are we going to do this?
It's on your channel, man. You can go first. I'll let you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. So yeah, like we said, there's 20. So we're going to kick things off with number 1, which is Advanced Technology. And this stratagem is for Decepticon Shockwave Cybertron Commander. So this is the Wave 1 Shockwave. And the stratagem states, your Decepticon Shockwave Cybertron Commander has 4 additional health. I feel like that was desperately needed. He's such a very, very powerful character back in the day, but the life total he was on to begin with was just very, very sketchy. Even though he had like a huge amount of armor, you could keep him alive. It was just a scary small health number. And I think for 1 star cost, you're getting 4 additional health. I feel like it's a nice stratagem. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, can't really add anything to what you've already said. He needed that +4 health. 11 health was just too low, particularly as Pierce became more and more prevalent, because historically you would put Shockwave in a blue deck, but then blue became irrelevant, so he's just he just hasn't seen any play, you know, outside of like, you know, for casual fun games. He just doesn't. He hasn't made a mark on the meta for a very long time. So, +4 health, definitely needed it.
Yeah. Good job, Nick. I think it's a great stratagem. I really liked playing Decepticon Shockwave. I know a few guys in my meta, in my store in Derby, they liked playing Shockwave, but yeah, the 11 health scared them off, and hopefully 15. So he's I think is he 10 stars?
10 or 11.
10 or 11 with this extra star. I feel like he's reasonably cost, especially for what he can do as well as a character. So
and 4 health is nothing to sniff at. You know, that's a nice addition to his health pool. So I've just discovered something whilst we're recording. Yours is all done by card name. Mine's done by character name. I'm on here. So if you tell me, I'll go through and do the next one, and you'll have to flip to it, and then you know, it's going to be. So sorry, listeners, it's a little bit disjointed because you're like advanced.
It's going to be great.
Like,
I love how all our files is put differently on this thing. It's going to be great. So, what's the next stratagem for you then, Dave? Because I thought it was going to be a certain someone that your son likes, but I guess it's not going to possibly be.
No, this is going to be really, really, really unusual because mine's all alphabetical by character that it's for, because that's how I built the files.
Oh, fair play.
So I've done it all by character name. So long story short, bit of digression. This one's for Blue Streak, and it's drop your weapons.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So again, going back to he's wave 2, wasn't he? Blue Streak.
He was a wave 2 character, which we all looked at and was like, trash.
Pretty much. I think I've
Poor
tried
guy.
I don't think he's even made it on my channel. Like, I've tried him once. I built a deck and I was like, like, it's just so much effort for so little reward. So it's be interesting to talk through this and see what it does for him. So to start with, it gives him +3 health. So very much like the Shockwave one we just talked about, giving him a health buff because he had, what, 9 health? There's a bit of pants.
I think it's 9 health with a really stupidly high like armor. I'm going to pull it up while you bring up the stratagem so we can talk about it.
Yeah, wasn't he 4 armor? I think it was 4
something stupid like that. That does ring a bell.
4 in alt modes. I can't remember what it is, but like, it's been so long since I've tried him out. But the other text is, when your Blue Streak Reluctant Soldier defends in bot mode and you flip at least white, orange, blue, the attacker's base attack becomes 0. What? That's a great ability.
This stratagem is freaking awesome. Okay, so guys, the mode that he starts in, obviously in alt mode, he's got 0 attack, 9 health, and 4 armor, and he costs 5, 6, 7, 8 stars. Meh. Why? His alt mode, on the other hand, he goes to 5 attack, 9 health, 0 armor. Scary. But then it states in his text box, when this attacks and you flip a white, orange, and blue, flip this to alt mode after the attack. So you punch for 5, and then if you flip the icons that are on the stratagem, the attacker's base goes down to 0, and you then go, okay, cool, I'm going to flip back to my armor of 4 at the end of this turn. So it could be quite interesting. It puts him up to 12 health, and he goes to 9 stars. I still don't think he's amazing.
Yeah, I think the problem is, obviously, his ability triggers when he's attacking, doesn't it, to flip him back? And this is when the stratagems when you defend in bot mode. So if your deck's built right and you're getting the right flips, he's never going to be in this mode. I think it's a nice bit of, like, a bit of a safety blanket, maybe, where if you're unlucky and you don't flip back to alt mode and get your 4 armor, at least if you then on your defense flip 3 colors, they're not going to punch you as hard when you've got no armor.
Yeah. I'm not going to be too much of a negative Nancy. The card is trash. Like, Blue Streak I was looking forward to seeing Blue Streak because obviously Blue Streak and Prowl are boys, and I was like, Prowl's really good in this. And then obviously you see Blue Streak and you're like, why is he trash? Why? He shouldn't be this bad. He hangs out with Prowl all the time and does some cool stuff with him. But I guess they tried something different with him, and, you know, he's forever stayed in our binders and just been a character for just laughing at in a way.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the characters that excites me the least, I think, from wave from that particular wave 2. So, you know, obviously Matterford's tried to make him more playable. I just don't know if he can. Like, you know, it's almost like his attack ability in bot mode, and then this stratagem sort of counterintuitive. They one wants him to go back to alt mode, and this wants him to stay in bot mode. So, but I thought, like I say, I think it's a bit of a safety net. Like, so if you get unlucky, 12 health's all right, 5 attacks okay for a car. I just think at 9 stars there are better cars you could play even with this stratagem. You know, Wheeljack's better. You know, 1 star less, Cliff Jumper's a million miles better. You've got Legendary Bumblebee, you've got Wave 2 Bumblebee.
The new Jazz is 9 as well, and he's incredible for 9 stars compared to Blue Streak. So
yeah, so you know, I'll probably try this out. I just don't know if he's probably still gonna be relegated to the binder, unfortunately. Poor old Blue Streak.
It's true. I feel like the music, "Hello Darkness, my old friend," needs to keep playing. Poor guy.
Maybe for Wave 2 they can make a good Blue Streak, like they did with the good Jazz, didn't they, in Wave 1? So.
Yeah, make a good Blue Streak. There we go. There's another call out for you guys. Please make a good Blue Streak. I love what you're trying to do with him, so fair play. So anyway, my next stratagem that I've seen on my screen is Arise Rod. Rodimus Prime worthy leader, and that's come out in this set. The stratagem is 1 star cost, and it states, before the game begins, you may reveal a matrix of leadership from your deck and put it into your hand. That's incredibly strong. And then up to 3 copies of Matrix of Leadership can fit into the utility slot of Rodimus Prime worthy leader.
That is bonkers. Salty, that you've made a monster there. I think that is so good. Like, Galaxy Prime was horrible with his triple utility slot. The amount of times I've been up against some of our local players, one of them in particular likes a lot of Galaxy Prime action, and it just, when you like more than one Matrix, you're like, oh, like, you know. But this, getting a Matrix into your hand at the start of the game, which makes him better. So effectively, I can't see a scenario where I don't want to play Rodimus with, you know, I can't ever see me wanting to play it without this stratagem, because it's nuts. So effectively, Rodimus becomes 13 stars. And then you've got all you know, we've done the battle card review just now. You get all the goodness of and all that, you know, like, it's so good. It really is good, and it's going to make him like top tier, and he should be, because he was Optimus Prime's successor, wasn't he? So, like, you know, he should be nails, and he should be really good. And I like the flavor of capturing the Matrix, because that's essentially, you know, what Rodimus was about. He was the one who shall rise from their ranks and light their darkest hour. It's great. I think it's a fantastic card, so you really do.
Right. So, I feel this card has just made Rodimus ridiculous for what he is. So, obviously, when he's in bot mode, when he's upgraded with a Matrix of Leadership, he gets +1 attack and Pierce 2. So, if you have all 3 of them, he goes to pretty much... It doesn't stack, I don't think.
No, but even so, that you're going to get, what, +3 attack from the 3 Matrices.
So it'll be a +4, because he gets plus... Yeah,
11 attack or something horrible?
Yeah, something horrible, like 10 or 11. My math might be off on that, but obviously these cards are on the screen. But yeah, they've got to obviously make him up there with Prime, like you were stating, with Galaxy Prime and, you know, Magnus and a few others. So it could be really interesting running. Is it possible? Is the dynamic duo available? Yes, you can run him and Ultra Magnus together and just go 2 wide with all the health in the world. That is 34 health.
Oof. Yeah, that's a lot to chew through.
that is a horrific amount.
And you're going to be playing orange-blue cards to the you know, to the cows come home. So, like most of your flips are going to be good offensively and defensively. So yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, I feel like I want to play Magnus and Rodimus now. Maybe Salty's stratagem has converted me. I still haven't seen a psychologist, just letting you know. But yeah, maybe I've the tide has turned a little bit for me and Rodimus with this stratagem. So yeah, good design, Salty. So yeah, good job. So Dave, third stratagem on your screen. Let's see. It's lucky dip for me. It's just constantly like a what do you call them? A fruit machine for me for like what you're gonna pick. So
the next one is called Cant Squish this, and it's for Bombshell Decepticon Psyops from Wave 2. Again, a really cool bit of card design originally. Like I like the idea of Bombshell, like, you know, taking control of their mind and just, you know, getting rid of them. And I have used him, and he's a really cool character, but just didn't really cut the mustard, did he? Really?
No.
So this reads: while your Bombshell Decepticon Psyops is defending against an attacker that's Pierce, which, let's face it, quite a lot of attackers do nowadays. Reduce the attacker's Pierce total based on the number of cards in your hand. If you've got 1 to 4 cards, it's reduced by 2. There's 5 to 7 cards in your hand, reduce the Pierce total by 3. And then 8+, reduce it by 4. So you can couple that with that new battle card Trithinium Plating.
Yeah. No
Pierce for you. And Bombshell obviously is going to be playing blue just to stay alive long enough to amass those cards in your hand. And then just one-shot characters. I like it. I don't know if it's going to make him competitive, like from a tournament meta, but it's certainly going to make him better than he was. And Pierce is really relevant.
Yeah. Bombshell's 11 stars to begin with, so adding this will take it to 12. Obviously, his alt mode is 1 attack, 15 health, 1 armor. When you flip to this mode, draw a card. And then obviously the most powerful ability of him is in his bot mode. It goes up by 2, his attack, but it's when this attacks, you may scrap cards from your hand equal to the number of stars on the defender. If you do, KO that character. So you like, delete. Yeah, to quote Matt Hardy. I really like it because I love this Bombshell, and like my overall goal after while Wave 5 was still around, I was like, I want to make Bombshell work somehow. I want to make him work. And it was this one, and I feel like this stratagem can work because you're playing a deck which basically wants to have all the card draw in the world, and you know, when you do spend a lot of cards, you then are worried about Pierce. So most of the time you are building blue bugs. So it is quite interesting. I'm going to play it because I really want to try and make Bombshell work. I need to change a few things in the deck with obviously the additions of ARK and some other wave stuff. But yeah, I really, really like it. And yeah, I just think it's a really cool design. So well done, Jamie and Joe. Good job. And yeah, I'm probably going to try and get it working.
Definitely. I think you're right. Blue bugs is the way, you know, obviously you can run the kickback that when you flip blues, do damage to the defender and stuff like that. You know, like blue bugs is probably the way to go. You know, there is an episode on my channel a couple of months ago where I did actually run this guy on the channel from a viewer submitted deck. So I'd be interested to look at that deck list again now and see what the ARK's brought to it. Definitely the stratagem for one, but also to see what other toys that the blue bugs can get. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I like it.
Yeah, I feel like he can work. I think you just need to just take your time and just build it correctly, and hopefully this stratagem can really push it to the forefront.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So who's next on your screen? Right,
so the roulette wheel is spinning and it lands on Arm the Lonely, Raider Spinster, Infantry Aerial Assault. This is a stratagem for him. It's 1 star. It says your Raider Spinster Infantry Aerial Assault gets +3 health. And then once per game at the start of your turn, you may put a Battlemaster upgrade from your KO area onto Spinister. If you do, then flip this card. Wow. I never, ever played Spinister. And I'm intrigued by this just because the fact that I know Spinister's good and I've seen it being played on other channels, but I've never had the opportunity to really spend him. But if you think about it, he goes from being 13 health to 16 health. That's pretty darn good. He is going to be going from 11 stars to 12, but 16 stars, 16 health for 12 stars is no joke. It's pretty darn good. And if you think about it, that second ability works really well with his alt mode ability, because while he has a Battle Master on him, he gets +3 attack in alt mode.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like having a free Quartermaster as well once per game. So you don't, quite often with Battle Master upgrades, it just got popped off, didn't they? You'd be like, I'm quite sad now. I need to draw my Quartermaster. And that was always, if you got it, it was fine, but otherwise your Battle Master, it'd be a lot of work getting him onto Spinister and then just having him die. So yeah, I like that part of it. There's something interesting. I don't know if you've read the ARK FAQ, because obviously this stratagem flips after you do that. What they said in the FAQ is actually he would lose that +3 health once it's flipped. So that's interesting. There's a trade-off there.
Oh, okay.
I like the plus health. To be fair, unless I really, really needed that Battle Master back, I'm just going to quickly, whilst we're recording, I'm just going to flip onto the ARK's Facebook group and just double check that information's correct. Yeah. Let's go there. So,
love this intermission music. I love it.
That's it. Get some proper lift music going or something.
I know, mate. 100%.
The thing is, the ARK has been pretty busy the last few days, so I'll come back to that. Whilst we're talking about another card in a minute, I'll have a quick look into that.
So I never had the ability to. Well, I'm not going to say the ability. I never thought about playing Spinister. Have you ever played Spinister, Dave? And your thoughts on the stratagem?
I think I've tried him once. I think the health is nice. I think that's something he needed. I just the Battle Masters, they're just a bit sketchy, aren't they? Really, it's probably going to make him better from a casual perspective. I just don't think you're going to see Spinister out of anything other than the kitchen table, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's a really it's a really nice design by Adam to try and make the character better. And just not 100% that Spinister's ever going to be anything other than just a casual card. He doesn't fall in the land of Blue Streak. He's not abysmal, but he's not really strong enough to hold his weight. There's a lot of other characters you can take for that same star cost. So was he 10 stars? So be 11 with the stratagem?
No, I think he's. I think I said it. Yeah, he's 11 stars already. So with the stratagem, we'll go to 12.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, you're going to get 2 Battle Masters and probably have some cards left over as well. So could be quite interesting. But yeah, definitely a casual build, I think.
I think so. And just whilst we've been chatting there, I've actually found the FAQ, and it does say here. So if you use it on the Lonely second effect, put a Battle Master onto Spinister. To put a Battle Master on Spinister, the +3 health it gives him will no longer apply. So it is a trade-off. So that's an interesting piece of design as well. Unlike the Alpha Trion Protocol set that came out recently, a lot of the ones that flipped still had the stat buffs on the other side. This one does not. This is like, if you want to do that, if you want your free Quartermaster, you're going to lose that health buff. But it could be the difference between swinging for a kill and not. So I don't know. Yeah. I think once we see it in play, it's going to be a little bit, sort of give some sort of constructive feedback later on, I think.
Yeah, 100% agree. So yeah, good show, Adam. So that was Spinister's stratagem. So the roulette wheel is spinning once more, Dave.
Well, this is quite appropriate actually, because we just talked about the Decepticon version. So I've actually got Brothers in Armour, which is Sergeant Crosshairs from Wave 4 as well. So again, he kind of fell into the same pocket as Spinister, didn't he? He's kind of like okay,
yeah,
it's all right.
He's kind of
he's been in one of my videos. I think Claire maybe I don't know. There was a game where she went nuts and had this ridiculous armor total, but problem with armor is Pierce just ignores it. So doing a very similar thing here with the health increase. So your Sergeant Crosshairs has +3 health, which is nice, but again, same caveat is going to apply if you do flip it, and I'll come to that here. It's the same deal. It's pretty much word for word, I think. Once per game at the start of your turn, you may put a Battle Master upgrade from your KO area onto Sergeant Crosshairs, and then if you do flip this, so pretty much everything we just talked about for Spinister applies to this card.
Yeah, so his modes is pretty interesting. So obviously in his alt mode, he's 5 attack. With the stratagem, he goes from 12 to 15 health. And then he's got 1 armor, but obviously his trade-off is he has 2 armor slots, which is pretty dope. When you flip to this mode, move 2 damage counters from this onto one of your battle masters. So obviously he wants the battle masters to die quicker. And then obviously when he flips to bot mode, he goes 6 attack, still staying at 15. He's got 0 armor in that mode. He's still got 2 armor slots. And then while this has a battle master upgrade on him, he then gets +2 armor. So yeah, I feel like they're trying again to get these guys working, and I feel like that's what, stratagems are all about, aren't they? Like in Wave 5, it was trying to get some of them to play, and some of them are great. Like the Starscream one is incredible, but then there's some that aren't that great, like Cup. I'm just saying.
But then again, it was always going to be an uphill battle for Wave 1 Cup anyway. But I think out of the 2, Crosshairs is the better of the 2 characters.
I think so.
I think the ability to move that damage from one to another is quite good. So I think this might see more of a chance for me giving this a try. But again, I do feel that Spinister and Crosshairs as well, they just sit in that mid-range. You can get a lot better characters for the stars. And whilst the stratagem helps, if they kept the +3 health when it was flipped, I think it would help them more. But the fact that you could instantly bolt of lightning yourself just to get a battle master back is a bit of a thumbs down from me. I'm not saying the card's horrible. I just don't think it does enough to bring the characters up.
This is quite interesting. He is a tank and he's ranged. So you are getting a tank for 11 stars that is going to have 15 health. It's quite interesting to think about, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Indeed, and I think again, like once the cards are in hand and we can start building some decks with the cards, because it should be noted, I've not played with any of these cards yet, apart from I've been under the grinding boot of Bruticus once against one of my friends via webcam. But otherwise, I've not actually physically built anything with these yet. So we are looking at this from a theoretical standpoint, aren't we? So we haven't got the experience. So it might be nice. In maybe a couple of months' time, that we come back and just record a shorter podcast where we just talk about what we sort of standouts, cards that would surprise us or something like that. We've got ideas for the podcast going forward. Like we want to do obviously we're doing a set review of looking at it now. We want to come back to it after we've played it a little bit. I want to talk to some of the guys who designed some of the cards as well to talk about stuff, and then try and get some hype between obviously the release of this and obviously the ideas that might be bubbling in Wave 2 for the ARK. So we'll see how it goes. But I've always got stuff going on this channel. It's never a boring day on Bleed Up Productions. Never is. Absolutely. Right. You're definitely a very prolific content creator. You do a lot of stuff. So
too much stuff sometimes.
But then you get bored otherwise, wouldn't you, Lee? So
100% true. We are in lockdown as recording this. So how do I keep my sanity? Editing and currently playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Love it. Who's next on that roulette wheel?
Well, the roulette wheel's going a bit crazy because it's feeling a little bit of rage, and I'm talking about Barbaric Rage by Galvatron, my mechanical tyrant. Oh, maniacal, sorry. I can't pronounce stuff. So it's Nick obviously designed this. This is his baby, obviously Galvatron. It's 2 stars. Something to take to the fold of this. It's 2 stars. Your Galvatron gains +3 health, and then while your Galvatron is in bot mode, he has +3 attack. And when this attacks, do 2 damage to one of your characters. Wow. Okay, so he's basically. Let's think this through. I'm looking at the character now. He is an absolute juggernaut to begin with, right? So when you add 3 additional health to him, guys, you're looking at 20 health. That's incredible.
That's a lot of health to chew through.
It's a lot of health to chew through. So he's a 13-star tank with 20 health. The downside, which obviously they had to put some sort of downside into this stratagem, is every time he attacks, you have to do 2 damage to somebody else. So, you are going to be taking 2. That's unfortunate. But the trade-off is he is then going to get another +3 attack. So, in his bot mode, he goes to 10. that's some scary stats. 10, 20 health for pretty much a 13 cost character. Thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, that's frightening. and to be fair, Galvatron should be frightening. He's Galvatron, you know. And it kind of fits in with his thing where he's a bit of a nutter, isn't he? Like, you don't really care about, you know, the other Decepticons. He's just driven by rage and fury. So I like the flavour of the card as well as the mechanical design. You know, it is 2 stars, so you are paying for that. You know, there's a big investment for him and that. But like you say, 20 health, and then if you're running him, why not put in energy packs and power cells? You know, like, yeah, that's a lot to chew through. That is a lot. But there's that downside. And even if you're just down to Galvatron, he's going to hurt himself. So you have to, it's not one of your other characters, it is one of your characters. So late game, if you're just down to Galvatron, he's going to be shooting himself for 2 every time he attacks. But those swings are going to be hopefully 10 base before flips, which is scary. You know, I can see him being paired with like Battlemaster. So if you're not going to try and go for the sort of like the multicolour pip thing, I don't know why you wouldn't, but like, for example, you don't have to, and you could go for I'm going to play a Battlemaster with him and just slowly shoot my Battlemaster off the board and then bosh.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like obviously with the stratagems, they've definitely pushed Rodimus and Galvatron as the new big baddies, which they need to, because obviously that's what the movie did. The movie pushed these 2 into the threshold and got rid of Megatron and Optimus Prime. They needed to have that kind of push, and I feel like both of these stratagems are incredibly powerful, and I can understand why this is 2 stars. Actually, I keep thinking it's 1. That's even madder. He's more stars. He'll be 14 points, I think. Not 13. Yeah, he'll be 14. Yeah, so 14 stars and 20 health. That's still, you still love that to be honest, if you think about it. Still really strong. Yeah,
and like I say, you can get a couple of cheap characters that you don't really mind. You know, you can take some high health, lower star characters. You know, there's several of them out there that you could put alongside him, and yeah, like, it just makes a scary character scarier. So yeah, I like that. I think Nick again, he's done a good thing for his boy Galvatron there.
Of course. So, spinning the roulette wheel, where are we going to next, Dave?
Okay, this one is called Quest for Fire, and it's for the Fire Cons.
I love this.
Which is cool to see, because I'll hold my hand up here. I have never played with my Fire Cons because their health total is rubbish, and this
shocking.
This helps them out. So all your Fire Cons have +2 health. So it's not a crazy health increase, but it's hopefully enough to sort of balance their health to star cost ratio a bit. Because they've all got really interesting abilities. All of them have got like really cool stuff, but they want to be orange, so like their defense is a bit naff, and when you've got low health, they just get yeeted off the board, and you're like, well, okay. So I've never really used them. You know, I've played against them a couple of times, but I don't think their health total was good enough before. So the other thing the stratagem does is, before the game begins, you may reveal a Firecon flame from your deck and put it into your hand. So yeah, it's a nice little nut. It's a great bit of design from Nick here again, with sort of doing what they need, which is the health buff, and then getting their signature upgrade out of their deck and putting it into your hand at the start of the game. So it means you can sort of abuse that a little bit. Whether it's enough to push them top end, I don't think it is, but it makes them a little bit more playable, and I like that, because I'd like to play with them, because I never have.
I have had the pleasure of playing Firecons, and I believe I got a victory on this channel with Firecons. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's coming on there. There's the battle report right there. But yeah, I really like it, because I really like the Firecons. As Mike said, I think, on one of the episodes as well, they said they're like a poor man's Dinobots. But, right, so Cindersaur, his stats, his overall health goes to 12, but then with the plus 2, it goes to 14. That's respectable.
Yep.
Flame War, 11, that goes to 13. That's respectable. I'm just trying to find the other one now. This is always good. Elevator music. Where are you?
Sparkstalker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Sergeant Spark. Why aren't you a raider, you weirdo? Right, there we go. Sparkstalker is 10. He'll go to 12. Now, all of them do different fun, janky things, but, you know, I really like them. I'm definitely going to play them again because there's, obviously, they've got lost in the shuffle, and I feel like there's definitely cards in these later waves that have made these guys incredible.
Think about, like, Vampire Ribbon. Like, so mitigate some of that lower health anyway, and they've got the health buff from this stratagem. If you can have Vampire Ribbons in there, and then you're doing all their crazy like card draw and other shenanigans off flipping the orange pips, and you're going, well, and then I repair some damage as well with a toolbox. Yeah, I think they've got you know, legs to perform better than they would. Like you said, they got lost a bit and a bit overshadowed by other stuff, but like, I don't think they're going to sit at the top end, but definitely give them a little lift, and certainly bring them out of my binder and put them on my table for definite.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely play them, guaranteed. I'll gladly play these in a matchup for sure. Because yeah, I kind of like them, but like you say, sometimes characters get lost in the shuffle. Quest for Fire, I like it. Nick, thank you very much. Another great stratagem. Enough said. So, roulette whale for me. Gosh. Oh gosh, I've got this. Oh man. I forgot this card even existed. So I've got Bust Some Deceptichops. Now, this is obviously the Ironhide from the starter set. Now, it's obviously costs 1 star, where your Ironhide Veteran Autobot gains +4 health, and then when your Ironhide Veteran Autobot battles a Decepticon, Ironhide gets Bold 2 and Tough 2 until the end of turn. Now, this is why he's trash, guys. So, Ironhide from the starter set is 6 stars to begin with. He's got 3 attack, 7 health. If you include this, he goes to 7 stars and he'll go to 11 health. And in alt mode, he's got 3 armor. That's pretty darn decent. And then obviously when he goes to his bot mode, he's got 4 attack. Obviously with the strat, he'll go to 11, and then he's got 2 armor. So this strat kind of helps him out and brings him to the forefront, because if he's going to fight Decepticons, Bold 2 and Tough 2 is nothing to laugh about, especially against trucks. So, you know, having a 7-cost truck that is 11 health and starts with 3 armor, thinking of 4-wheel drive and a few other really powerful melee and truck cards can really make Ironhide hit quite hard, especially if he's against, shall we say, a Decepticon. It's nothing to, you know, hilariously laugh about anymore. So maybe I have to go back and see this lovely old card and go, like, maybe build a hilarious truck build with him.
Yeah, I think so. I think it gives him the lift he needs, because again, you open the starter deck, you know, he's cool, you know, like the red alert's all right, and then, you know, Ironhide, ugh. So yeah, like Wes from Powered by Promise done a good job here, and it's flavorful. Ironhide hates the Decepticons.
Every time I look into a monitor, Prime, my circuits sizzle. When are we gonna start busting Deceptichops?
But yeah, it's very flavorful, and it captures that essence, and like you say, hopefully bring him into the game a bit. You know, a 7-star truck with 11 health is not bad. You know, what, Gears is 7 and he's what, 10? Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he's on par with other characters of the same star cost.
Yeah, 100%. You can run all the interesting ones. You can run Outback, which is, I think, 7 as well. You know, there's a lot of good ones, and I feel like this helps take him to the forefront. And yeah, like you said, he hates Decepticons, and he goes out like a boss, because Megatron does exactly what all villains do, explains his maniacal plan, and everyone else is dead, and he's still stringing alive, and he's like, no, you shouldn't do this. And then he goes out like an absolute gangster.
When we slip by their early warning systems in their own shuttle and destroy Autobot City, the Autobots will be vanquished forever! No! Such heroic nonsense.
So, yeah, I'll definitely try this out. This is definitely one of those strats where I'm like, yeah, this has got me thinking about building an interesting Autobot truck deck. So, yes, Wes, good design work, mate. So, next one, sorry, Dave. Spin the roulette wheel. What are we going?
We're going for heat-resistant body, and that's Inferno, Fearless Firefighter.
Ooh.
So this is interesting because this is a character that's already had a stratagem from the Alpha Trion protocol. So it's interesting to see the ARK's take on it. And they both have a similarity. And they both identified that Inferno's health was a bit poo for 12 stars. So I think Alpha Trion's gives him what, +4?
+4.
This one gives him +5, which I really like. I think, again, you know, if you're paying, well, you'd be paying 13 with this now, so he'd have 16 health. That's pretty good. You know, that's 2 more than Prime, and he's got 8 attack as well. I think a lot of people forget just how nasty his attack value is. And when you flip your Inferno Fearless Fighter to bot mode, repair 1 damage from one of your Autobots. That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
So it's very different. Alpha Trion did the whole, when you defend, he had Brave as well, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I think they're very different. This is not maybe as powerful, but I think maybe a little bit more in line with kind of the character's flavor, whereas like the other stratagem is very mechanically oriented and it's designed to make him more competitive, whereas this is more to bring him in line with his flavor from the show. So the repairing, so again, another little bit of repair chucked into the set. So put him with, how many stars is new Ratchet?
He's 9.
Yeah, so he'd be quite expensive then. But if you could run the pair of them together and get enough repairy shenanigans. But it gives you another Autobot that is good at repairing. So RC from Wave 1 is very good for 5 stars.
Yeah, and you think about it, you could build some really interesting like repair mechanics in there. Also, the fact is, if you think about it, if you do decide to run Ratchet, that's 9, 12, that's going to be 21. Add the stratagem, that's 22. And your general health with the stratagem, you're looking at 30 health there to chew through. It's pretty big.
It's quite a lot. And then obviously you could run Spotlight as well and get 2 more blue cards. And yeah, I think this is I think it's a good stratagem. I think it gives him exactly what he needed, and it's interesting that the 2 groups focused on that health pool as well. So it's just nice. It's a very similar take on the character, but approaching it slightly different ways, and I like it a lot. So that one
true
is another Matafa card. So yeah, well done, Matt.
Well done, Matt. Yeah, it's very good. I like Inferno. He punches really hard, and I think the Alpha Protocols have done something different, kind of like what the ARK, and I think that's what we're always going to possibly get with creator content. You're going to have guys taking their own different takes on cards, and it doesn't hurt to try them both out and see which one's better. Look at our Kaiju battle, Triptychon versus Metroplex. It's can go any direction. Fan created content is great, and it just keeps the game going, so I cannot complain.
Definitely. Inferno is just a character I love. Like you say, he punches hard. I'm looking forward to getting him on the table with that.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Moving on to a character I hate and I think is pointless, but they're trying to make him good, is Do It With Style. I've got the Autobot Jazz Spec Ops stratagem. So obviously this is Wave 1 Jazz. We mocked him maniacally, should we say, in the character episode, because he is just trash. No one should really play him. He's just, he's just not great. But this stratagem costs 1 additional star, and basically what it says, replace the text, an enemy that doesn't have Pierce on your Autobot Jazz Spec Ops with an enemy that has 8 or fewer stars. So, if I read this correctly, I'm going to pull up the horrific card of Jazz. I'd laugh if I don't have... No, I actually do. Wow, I somehow have it in my mind. Here we go. So, we need to change the words an enemy. So, let's have a look. Here we go. So, when this defends against an enemy that doesn't have Pierce, and you flip at least 2 white icons, this can't take more than 2 damage is the stat on the card. So what we've got to replace is, when this defends against an enemy doesn't have Pierce on your Autobot Jazz that has 8 or fewer stars. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think this is quite an interesting stratagem that they've designed here. I like it because he was rubbish, let's face it. So what I like about this stratagem is he can engage early when they're attacking with their smaller bots, you know, you don't often lead with your main guy, do you? So, you know, if he only takes, if your deck's flipping right and you've got it built right, it's not going to take more than 2 damage for an attack, which means they might have to put through 2, 3, 4 attacks into him before he goes down, unless they go in with their big guy. But then you're like, well, you're attacking my 7-star and I don't really care. So
it's a pretty interesting take on a 6 cost car, but it will go to 7 because of this strat. So 7 stars. You're a car lover. Would you try him out? Would you test him out to see how well he does with all the untaps and the possibilities?
It's not very. Again,
it's jazz.
It just feels a bit like, you know, with the Blue Streak one. You know, kudos for trying to make this character better than he is. I probably wouldn't. There's, you know, for 7 stars, I'd probably rather take Smokescreen, for example, because he's just slightly, you know, he's got better stats and better armor, and he's just a bit better. He's got Safeguard, which kind of, I don't know, like I feel sorry for Wes. Like, we know you're trying to make him good, but I feel the song's coming back in. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Just let the cards die again. Just let him go. Just let he's a figment of our imagination. Jazz never was until you guys made him in this set. Yeah, I you know, the new Jazz just is everything Jazz should have been, and Wave 1 Jazz just no, it's just meh. I will try it out. You know, I'm quite keen to try out everything in my collection on the channel, and I know you're very keen to try out different stuff as well. So
you'd have to pay money. You'd have to pay money for me to play Jazz.
Fair enough.
Seriously.
Well, I will give him a go, and then when we do our review in a couple of months' time, after we've let the set bed in a bit, then we'll discuss Jazz again.
Yeah, we'll bring up the hilarious turd that is Jazz. I love it. So it's just brutal. I love Jazz, but that card is just Wizards. Yeah. What were you thinking? So, Dave, the roulette wheel is spinning. What are we going to land on next?
Such heroic nonsense for Megatron Decepticon leader.
Such heroic nonsense.
So this is the common one, isn't it, from Wave 1 Megatron? So 1 star?
Yeah, supposedly, you know, when this was released, this was better than Living Weapon.
Yeah.
Played a lot more than with Living Weapon, which is kind of mad.
It pushes him up, the stratagem pushes him up to, what, 11 stars? I think he's 10 stars.
I'll find out for you while you talk.
So this one's designed by Salty from Blues on Attack. And it reads, when your Megatron Decepticon leader is on the battlefield and you flip Hunker Down while battling, after the battle you may swap a card from your hand for a Hunker Down you flip this battle as though it had a green. That's a really interesting design there with that. It's very unique because it's not giving the Hunker Down the blue. It's allowing you just to pick it up as though it did. So it's not gonna improve like overwhelming advantage or anything like that because it's not adding an extra pip, but I like that. Hunker Down's obviously an incredibly powerful card for tanks, and being able to fetch it, I like that a lot. I love, you know, probably my second favorite tribe after cars is probably tanks. And I played this guy alongside Dartmount and Demolisher a fair amount. No, but they're the 2 other characters that are in desperate need of stratagems, and I know we've had the Alphatron ones, but it's nice to see this one from Megatron, and Hunker Down having a green it's good.
Yeah, it's interesting because so with the strat, and his original cost is 10, so he'll go to 11. His stats aren't shabby. He's 12 health. Obviously in bot mode he's 4 attack, in alt mode he's 2, in tank he's 3 armor, in bot mode he's 2 armor. In bot, he's got Pierce 3. That's kind of cool. But, like, obviously, having Hunker Down as a green is very interesting because, obviously, with the ult, when you flip to this mode, you may scrap a card from your hand. If you do, scrap an enemy upgrade. That can be incredibly strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact you're hunkering down like the rest of your team as well. Let's face it, there are some significantly powerful armors that are available to tanks, namely obviously the signature one, composite armor, but Ghost Shield just goes straight on them because it cheats it onto them. You've got
It cheats it on them.
You know, you've got emergency barricade, which is great for Demolisher as well. So you've got a lot of options there with this. There's that new card, Trithyllium Plating, if you're against, you know, if you want to do more of a bluey build for your tanks. So it's got lots of pluses, I think, really. Just adding that on is going to make it tanks, it's going to make them good. They're good anyway, it's going to make them better.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I really like it. I feel like we were talking in the player, in the character kind of overview. It'd be interesting to see this Megatron run with some of the Combaticons, just because they're some cheap, awesome tanks, and some of the tanks in the military patrol are really interesting as well. So you can really open up the floodgates to some smaller tanks, but just benefit from hunker down can be really interesting.
That's it. And when they're all packing like 5 armor because they've got like, you know, 5 or 6 armor if they've got 3 base armor, you know, if they've got 5 armor off a composite armor and or a barricade and go shield or whatever, you know, like, yeah, that's going to turn those little guys into pains in the bum to kill. So yeah, massive fan. So Salty, I like it. I like it a lot.
Good job, Salt. Good job. Right, roulette wheel's going. It lands on your, as I remember fondly from editing the first episode, it lands on your first original Autobot toy that you got. We landed on a Sideswipe Reckless Warrior, and the stratagem's called I don't break rules, I just bend them a lot. So obviously this was designed by Matt, who had the joy of bringing the Jet Judo brothers. Man, that's a tongue twister to say quite quickly.
They're within attack range. When we're done with them, they're gonna wish they'd never been assembled. All right, bro, let's go! Okay, Big Knives, let's see how tough you are! Hey, check out this move! Yeehaw! Oh! Hey, I get the feeling our Jet Judo needs a little more work.
It says on his stratagem, it's 1 star. It states, once per game when Sideswipe Reckless Warrior is on the battlefield and you flip him to another mode, you may play up to 2 upgrades from your KO area. If you play a card this way, flip this. That is incredible for what he does.
It's fantastic. It really is.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, it's nicer, isn't it, to have Sideswipe being good rather than like the Wave 3 iteration of him. So I think him and his brother together with the stratagem that's just insanely good. I love it.
So I'm looking at this strat and I'm looking at Sideswipe. So he's 7 stars normally. With this strat, it'll be 8. So obviously, when he's got a weapon with 2 or more icons in his alt mode, he gets +2. But obviously, you want to play this, trigger this strat when he's in his bot mode, which is when this attacks, you may put a weapon with +X in his stat box from your hand or scrap pile into your KO area. If you do, this gets that much attack until the end of turn. With this strat, holy cow, can be incredibly powerful. You can have a turn of just getting the right things and then just tool him up and just be reckless, like just his name states. And it's really strong, and it makes me feel like, I don't know, 8 stars. He is it bold enough to say that he's up there with the stronger 8 cost card? He definitely hits harder than Cliff Jumper, but obviously Cliff Jumper draws cards, but this guy hits like a Mack truck if you get this off right.
I think you can just play both of them.
Easier said than done. Well done. Just play both.
Cliff Jumper's raw card advantage is what makes him so powerful, and that's why he is in so many decks, you know. But can you imagine just the shenanigans you can pull off with this? And I love shenanigans, so for me, just pulling stuff like, you know, I've got a grenade launcher there, I'll just put that back, and, you know, you know, just, he's going to hurt that turn once per game. He's going to kill someone.
He's going to go out recklessly and just destroy. It's going to be interesting. I feel, yeah, it's mad. I really like that stratagem. Well done, Matt. And yeah, gosh, what? Yeah, I feel like that's possibly one of the best strats we've got so far. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think that is very, very strong. So yeah.
Right.
Lovely. So next one on the roulette wheel is made of sterner stuff for OPBL.
No more Optimus Prime! Grant me mercy, I beg of you! You, who are without mercy, now plead for it? I thought you were made of sterner stuff.
Right. Okay.
It's interesting that they chose to do a stratagem for him, because he's been pretty much in the game competitively forever. Mainly only really in the last wave or two where he's maybe fallen out of favour, and I think it's because like Galaxy just had a better health total. So this one's very short and sweet. It's 1 star for your Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend, has +3 health. So it puts him at 17 health, 14 stars. That's quite a big investment for him, but it is good, and I think that's maybe why he did fall out of favour, because he just wasn't maybe as tanky as some other alternatives that you could run in your deck. What do you think? Like 17 health is for 14 stars?
It is good. Obviously, I was part of the playtesters for the first wave of Alpha Protocol, and they tried to make a Battlefield Legend stratagem. They tried multiple different things, and obviously one of them was obviously the main health thing, but like, is it rude to say I don't think he needs a stratagem? Like, I feel like what he does and what he did when the game was alive, like this is my personal opinion. It's not throwing like the ARK under the bus or the guys over at the Alpha Triumph Protocols, but the guy, like Optimus Prime, was still a thing come wave like 5. He was still in top tier in tournaments. Like, he's such a strong character. Like, obviously 14 health is kind of like meh now compared to some of the things we've seen in this set, but it's just his ability of just, I flip cards and then I get to play one, is incredibly strong. And he doesn't, and he hits for 8. Not, you know, that's, if we're gonna take a character from this wave, like Scorponok hits for 8, Prime hits for 8, and Prime's like half his, like literally 6 stars cheaper than him before you even obviously add like Zarak to the mix and whatever. But yeah, I don't honestly think he needed a strat. I can understand if you wanted to just be a little bit more safe and, you know, put 3 additional health on him, but at the same time, let's think about this. If you put this on him, he's 14 stars. Then you put an energy pack on him, and then you also put a power cell on him. You're gonna be, you know, you're gonna have all the health in the world, but you're still gonna be, you know, problem number 1, and everyone's gonna try and punt you off the board. But like, people will still put like indirect damage on him. They'll still transfer damage onto him, even if you keep him back, because he is an issue. So giving him like an additional 3 health, you're still not gonna be able to survive like horrificness by horrible. You're not going to have the shenanigans of like Windsweeper and Slipstream putting all that damage across. You know, it's kind of a hard design space, and I can understand both. Well, the ARK didn't release their one. The Alpha Triumph Protocols didn't release their one, but the ARK had an attempt at doing it. Fair play to them, but I just feel like you're clutching at straws with this one. But I love the ARK. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus or anything like that. It's just 3 health for 1 additional star. Like, I feel you're better off just not worrying about that and probably spending it on cheaper trucks and just going all into the whole truck tribal build with him more than anything.
Yeah, you know, he, like you said, he's been good since the beginning. I don't know if he definitely needed one. It's interesting. 17 health maybe brings him up a little bit more in line with the other characters, but like you say, he's 14 stars. It's quite a lot. So, you know, it's interesting design from Wes there. Powered by Primus. So, you know, we'll see. I know my lad Aiden's going to be, I'm going to play that every deck. I'm like, great. I'm 17 health Battlefield. It's going to be fun. But yeah, again, we'll see if he gets pushed up back, because I wouldn't say he's tier 1 anymore, but he's definitely he's always around. You always see him in sideboards as they're I'm going to bring in something that's going to hurt you card. Do you know what I mean? You seem a lot still there, so it'd be interesting to see. Who's next? We're not that many left now, have we?
We have not got that many left. That is 100% true. I'm bringing up the character because I completely forgot that he was in this game. So, moving on, I have got Mayhem, which is a stratagem for Ruckus. Combat Assault. That's right, Ruckus, guys. Can you remember that guy? The 11-star car thing for... Yeah, right. He gains +2 health with this strat. It's one additional star, so he gains +2 health. And he says, when Ruckus Combat Assault is on the battlefield and you flip him to another mode, repair 1 damage from each of your cars, and one of your cars gets bold 1 until the end of turn. Wow. Okay, so... include this strat, he goes to 12. His stats across the board, guys. In alt mode, he's ranged, he's a car, he's got 5 attack. With the strat, he's going to have 14 health and 3 armor. In bot mode, he goes to 7, 14, and 1. For 1 star, I'll take a punt at trying to run Decepticon cars and a mixture of Autobots and, just trying out Ruckus, because, for 12 stars, what he does with repairing and giving out bold, it could be interesting, but, it is a hard category, cars, because there is some dynamite cars. And I'll hand it over to my car expert in Dave.
I really like anything that's trying to bring a character that you don't really see, and apart from like casual, you don't see Ruckus because he was Captain Vanilla, wasn't he? He was he just wasn't very exciting for his cost, and like you say, there's plenty of other cars to play. I do like this stratagem. I think I can see. It's crazy it sounds. One of the patrols that never really caught on was the sports car patrol. But this could be really fun with them.
It would be.
Because when they untap, whilst they got Blackjack on the board, they repair 1. And then you can have Ruckus repairing as well. So I think it's interesting. And I think you could team it up with some of the Autobot cars as well. And repairing damage. And then you've got... what's the other one that repairs damaged cars? Which one was it? Red Alert? Maybe. Yeah,
Red Alert does, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some definite things going there. And Bold 1, that's pretty good as well. Particularly if you run this off the back of a Start Your Engines.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's got scope. I'll give it a try, I think Adam's tried to take a character that doesn't see any play, really, and get him on the table. So I'm in favour of that. So yeah, definitely going to give that one a shot.
Well done, ads. I really like it. I feel like you were saying one that might be overlooked is the sports car patrol. Maybe some fun times with those guys. With this guy, could be quite a fun casual deck. Could get quite interesting, and some repair shenanigans and stuff. So yeah, seems pretty cool.
Definitely. So who's next on the wheel?
I love it. The roulette machine is slowly running out of battery, but it sounds good. I'm
having to flip back through and make sure we haven't missed anyone. I don't think we have so far. So I think we are up to... oh, we've got one for a new character. Predacon Fortitude for Skybite, the Harbinger of Doom. This is very, very cool. It's nice to see them pushing their sort of like flagship characters from this set in there, because Skybite is definitely one of them, because he's one of the SRTs. This is for each card under your Skybite Harbinger of Doom. He has +1 health and +1 armor up to a maximum of +3 and for a star. I think that seems pretty good, because isn't his ability when he attacks you put 3 cards under him?
Yeah, you do. So then obviously that... yeah, okay, so... right, okay, now I understand the battle card that we talked about in the last podcast. Wanna bet really hurts this stratagem.
Yes, and rightly so, because I think, it's not probably Perceptor level of bustedness, but that's pretty good. What's his base armor without the stratagem?
Just 1, but he'll go to 4, and then he goes to 10 attack. It's pretty decent.
I like it. I think that's a great stratagem for him, and there's got to be a strong argument why you wouldn't include that if you were playing him.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I like the fact that they put a cap on it, because obviously you can keep on putting cards underneath him. But yeah, I like it. Come on, it's a flying shark. I think I was taken back by it in obviously the first part of our podcast that we did, and yeah, I agree with you, Dave. I feel like it's the right thing to do, to push some of the stuff they've added to the game. Why not add a stratagem to him and just try it out? And Matt, yeah, good job. Who doesn't want a 10 attack flying shark that has like 4 armor come at someone and then say, try and hit me?
I think it's very cool. I really do like that one. So again, he will be. I think him and Rodimus are the two of the characters I'm most excited for. Well, obviously Galvatron, because Galvatron's got some nut stuff. But interesting stuff. I think.
Yeah.
Who are we going with next?
Right. The roulette wheel spun and it is landed on Red Alert Security Chief in Paranoia. And this is a stratagem for that Red Alert. I've had a look in my card bank. I don't even own this card in my digital library. That's a good start. So, he basically states, your Red Alert Security Chief has, when you flip to this mode, you may scrap a card from your hand. If you do, repair one from each of your characters. So obviously he already repairs when he goes back to, I think, alt mode, possibly.
Do you know, I think that, sorry to interrupt, mate, I think this is actually the starter deck one, so I don't think he had any abilities before.
Yeah, he might not even have abilities. I don't know. The cards are on the screen. You guys know what it is now, and we're obviously talking jargon because there's some cards you never really play. But having the ability of scrapping a card and healing one across the characters is pretty strong. I feel, obviously, that's a repair bay across the board. That is an RC ability across the board. It's very good. For 1 star, and I think he was like 5 stars, I think. I'm not 100% sure. So 6 stars.
I've got him up on the app. He's 6 stars, so 7 stars. He's got 10 health, 3 attack in alt, 2 armor, 5 attack in bot mode, no armor. So he's not the best of cards, is he? But he's not bad.
He's got no stats. No, nothing in his text boxes.
Nothing at all. He's just vanilla.
Okay, so it's just vanilla. Yeah, so, yeah. But, okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I think what is interesting for the stratagem, and it's quite cool, is this gives that text to both of his modes.
Yeah, 100%. So it can be quite situational. And obviously, if he's 7 stars with this strat, you've got Ratchet, which is 9. So that's 16. You include RC, that would be 21. Yeah, you could build a hilarious repair deck with these guys.
Yeah, then you've got scope for either
throw in a 4-star, what is it? 4-star Merc somehow, and then just get more repair stuff going.
Yeah, opportune repairs. Oh.
Yeah, dude. So this could be interesting. This could be a really interesting take on it.
I think so. Yeah. And again, it's trying to breathe some life into a character that just you maybe played with when you first picked up the starter deck in your first ever couple of games, but very, very shortly would have ended up in the binder, not being played with because he's just not very exciting. So I like that. Yeah. So again, a nice bit of design from Matt there. Well done, Mr. Canada.
And I feel like it's really appropriate because it is like the Canadian colours as well on a character. So yeah, fair play.
Nice. So who are we on to next? We're nearly there, mate.
I'm looking down the list, and I feel like we've got 1, 2. I think we got 3 remaining.
I have the same count as you. So this next one, again, this is revisiting a Wave 1 character, Starscream's Brigade. Starscream scheming second in command. Yeah. So this one's really cool. This is interesting. So if your starting team has Onslaught and at least 1 other Combaticon, your Starscream scheming second in command has tap, discard a black action card from your hand, choose a Combaticon you own from outside the game and deploy it to the battlefield in alt mode with 2 damage on it. It's really funny because me and Aidan watched the episode literally called Starscream's Brigade this evening because he really wanted to watch the one with Bruticus in it.
Combaticons! Transform! Brawl! Swindle! Blast off! Vortex! And onslaught!
Who are you? And what are we doing in these crude carcasses?
Yes, I wouldn't want to be seen by anyone I know in this getup.
I am Starscream, and I just freed your hides from the Decepticon detention center on Cybertron. In return, I command you to assist me in dethroning Megatron.
Nice.
So, again, flavor. The guys have caught the flavor here. How effective it's gonna be, I don't know, but microcapacitor on Starscream, that seems like it could be fun.
Yeah, I 100% love that card that we previewed every single day. Like the last episode, I don't know how many times I was like micro. I should have put a counter on the video, but no, too much effort. But yeah, I really like it. It kind of pushes a Starscream that, let's just be honest, is in the shadow of King, in the shadow of Air Commander. So it's kind of cool to see one that doesn't get a lot of play get pushed to the forefront, and to have the ability kind of similar like Grimlock, but bring them to the fold. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, we all know from Volcanicus it just felt like effort trying to even get it to work. So I don't know how competitive this is going to be, but it's going to be fun trying to do it. And when you do it, and the other interesting thing is, and this was in the FAQ, is it doesn't have to be a different one-to-one that's already in the field. So you could keep putting like the Brave one, Brawl is it, or Vortex. You just keep putting the same one in because that's how the rules work. That's interesting. I think for me, the challenge would be, can I get Bruticus and Starscream in the same build?
I think you could.
Yeah, I think it'd be really, really fun to try and do. And like I said, microcapacitor, ready for action.
Yeah, I feel like you probably could. I feel like the fact that you could easily do put in those point positions and bravery and stuff and hit the ones that are already there, because as soon as they go in the KO area, you then can combine Bruticus. He might not have a lot of health, but, you know, hilariously enough, energy transfer can kind of hilariously work, and you could just basically, if Starscream's got all the health in the world, you could just be like, yeah, just suck all this up for, like, Bruticus to come stay alive, and could be interesting. I like it.
I think so, yeah. You know, it's a nice piece of interesting design from Michael here. I want to give it a go. It'll be one of those like you shake your arms in the air and do a little victory dance as you've done it. But I think it's going to be worth trying to do.
100%. I really, really like it. So, second to last on the roulette wheel I have is quite fun because I've seen this being played and it seems pretty darn good. And it's Scout the Area for Trypticon. Now, obviously, this is designed by Jamie. He put this video out ages ago for it, which kind of got me hyped to do it. And then obviously Dave and me had our kaiju battle of the ARK versus Alpha Trion Protocols. Which stratagem, which character, which deck will win? I'm not going to tell you who won, but go check out Dave's channel for that battle report. And yeah, so the stratagem states, for 1 star, you up to your deck, you can have 2 extra stars that involve a white pip card.
Yeah.
And then once per game, at the start of your turn, you may deploy a character from under your Trypticon assault base to the battlefield. If you do, flip the card. So, you know, you start with additional cards that help out Trypticon. You then can fire out a guy right away on your first turn if you've got stuff going. And if you've got, obviously, a battlefield incursion, there's another person out on the board right away. You can get the good times are rolling quite quick, can't you, Dave? You
can. I've used this quite a fair amount. This is like one of the first cards they previewed, wasn't it? And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I love Trypticon. You know, it's just, you have to get the battlefield incursion to stand a chance, and you needed it really within the first 2 flips, otherwise you're in a bit of bother. So for me, having that once per game ability at the start of your turn is fantastic. And like you say, you can even, if you've got the battlefield incursion, pop out 2 guys on turn 1 if you're going second, which is funny. And it's doing the same role that ultimately I was doing pre the ARK spoiling this card, and that was, I used to run Villainous Spotlight to get the extra invasions in the deck, whereas now you just play this and you get that lovely boost. So I don't think it raises Trypticon to the same levels of power as maybe Fortress Maximus and Metroplex, but it gives him a fighting chance.
It does. He plays very, very differently to all of them, and I've always said about Trypticon, I feel like he can be really effective. You just need to really think about how you're going to build him. And then obviously you put your time into him, because he's not an easy character to play and build for, because you've got to remember, oh, I've got this in the deck, I've got this, I need to do this, I need to do that. So kind of not similar to Devastator, because Devastator, I said, like in the character episode, it feels like a chore building his deck. With Trypticon, you've got to have mini engines in there, and you've got to make sure you hit those, because if you don't, he is very, very slow.
He just dies.
But yeah, I love the guy.
He goes down too quick, and the fact he's got 5 less health than Metroplex as well is it has always been an issue for him. So I think this definitely brings him into the realms of playability, and I'm looking forward to building the deck now, because obviously when I previously built it for a kaiju battle, we didn't have the ARK cards, the battle cards. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can put, some really cool stuff that's helping big characters out in this set, so I'm looking forward to that massively.
Resilience, get that health back.
Yeah, that might be one of them.
Oh, most definitely. That's an auto include. I'm telling you right now. After Triptychon,
definitely. A 3 off, mate. I think I'd play 3 of that.
Right.
The last one. This is it.
It is. We're powering down the roulette machine. We need to save power in the studio.
But we're good. We got enough to do this. Now, this one's called Unstoppable, and it's for Retgar, the Junkion leader. But I do think it should have been Bar Weep Grana Weep Ninibong.
Bar Weep Grana Weep Ninibong.
Bar Weep Grana Weep Ninibong.
Maybe that's coming in wave 2 when they hopefully, fingers crossed, bring out Junkion minions that either share a trait across the board and they've all got normal stats and all loads of. Well, go listen to. Yeah, you guys, if you're from the ARK, you know what I've said.
I think if there's not a battle card called either the Universal Greeting or Bar Weep Grana Weep Ninibong, I'm going to be sad. But anyway, moving on. At the start of your turn, if Retgar Junkion Leader is in your KO area, you may put up to 4 upgrades from your scrap pile into your KO area. If you do, return him to the battlefield tapped and repair 2 damage from him for each upgrade put into the KO area this turn. That's kind of fits in line with his flavor. The Junkion's just like, going down, but they still get up. It's really cool bit of design. And nicely balanced as well, because he comes back tapped, so he can just get slapped off the board again. But
that's awesome. And he can keep coming back. That's mad.
Yeah. For as long as you've got upgrades in your scrap pile, but you normally do. So I think, and what's he based? 5? Is he 5 stars, Retgar?
Yes, Retgar is 5 stars.
So yeah, I think 4 wide motorbikes is going to be fun, and I think Bleeds on Attack maybe. I think they did one the other day. I've tried not to watch their videos in the anticipation that I don't want to steal all their ideas for decks. So I'm kind of got this massive backlog of Blues on Attack to binge as soon as I've got my hands on the ARK and I've built a few decks. But I think this is a great bit of design from Nick here, and it captures Retgar's essence really for me. And it's pulling on those nostalgia strings because it's the Transformers movie, so I love it.
It's true. Good job, Nick. So, guys, that is all the stratagems. I feel this episode has been a lot more critiquing more than the others, because the others we were like, this is really cool, this is really good, but it's obviously they're trying to improve on what Wizards has already done, but they've also shined some light on some of the cards that they've designed, and to add a stratagem to some of the cards they've designed to see if you wanted to take them to another whole different dimension of madness. Like, just Galvatron one's just insane. So guys, thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you're listening to it on Podbean, if you're watching it on YouTube, hello. Hopefully you've been enjoying all the graphics that are on the screen. So Dave, before we sign out, what are your overall thoughts on this first wave of stratagems by the ARK?
I think on the whole they're fantastic. There's a couple that, like Jazz and Blue Street, that are possibly just not enough to make them good, but you can see why they've tried to do them. I'm going to give all of them a try, though. I will say that. I think giving a new lease of life to some of the other characters, like the Fire Cons, is going to be cool, and getting them on the table for me for the first time, because I've never put them on the board. But like you say, it's putting a spotlight on their new characters. Arise Rodimus Prime, that is a nut stratagem. The maniacal Rage for Galvatron is nuts. It kind of rounds out the set, like we said previously. It feels like a full set. It doesn't feel like a tacked on fan made thing. This feels like a wave. Like, this is maybe what we could have had Wizards of the Coast carried on. So I think they've done a stellar job on not just the stratagems, but every part of the set. I think they've done a great job, and I'm excited to see what they're going to cook up for wave 2.
Yeah, 100%. I just congratulate them. They've done a fantastic job. Feels like a complete wave. I have to agree with what Dave says. I feel like their stratagems are exactly like the stratagems that Wizards gave us in wave 5, with some being amazing, some being okay, and some being like, really? I'm not so sure. So maybe they designed maybe their whole stratagem idea was, why don't we copy Wizards? So guys, thank you again from me, from Blue Top Productions, and obviously Dave is 100% like happy with the set. We're excited to see what comes in Wave 2. So guys, if you've enjoyed listening to all 3 parts, because that's it, the trilogy's done, Dave. We're done.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I know. There's the X-Wings are flying off into the sunset. We're going to party on Endor. It's going to be great. It's going to be glorious. It's just, it's done. The ring has been destroyed. The Queen has been killed. All of it. Like, let's just go with all the movie tropes. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for downloading this podcast and watching the videos online. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like. A like is much appreciated. If you haven't seen the other parts, you can click on the screen right now and go to watch part 1 on my channel, part 2 on Dave's channel, and you're already watching part 3, so you don't need to watch that again. So, Dave, thank you again for being a part of this episode, mate. Much appreciated. It's been an absolute slobber knocker.
Yeah, it's been good.
Reviewing this series, man.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, mate. Thanks for having me on the podcast and everything, and thanks obviously for coming onto my channel to do a guest appearance as well. So it's been good fun. I hope you've enjoyed it, listeners. Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate, just like and subscribe. Both Bleeped Up and us, we appreciate it, and we're gonna keep churning out these set reviews and stuff, because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in the next few months. I think with ARK Wave 2, Alphatron Protocols, we've got some stuff coming out for Primus, which I still need to play. So yeah, thank you everybody, thank you Lee, and yeah, I'll see you on the next episode of the Energon Hustlers.
No, it's all good, it's all good. So yeah, guys, take care, have a good one, and yeah, keep flipping those cards, because this game is definitely not dead.